So, let's talk about creation here. Now, this is an interactive conversation, okay? Had a little bit of a struggle with the 9:15. Had to explain that interactive meant when I ask a question, you answer, okay? Heads on, let's go. In the beginning, God created, right, day one. Pardon? Heavens. Come on, louder. Light, thank you. Rachel was at the 9:15. God created light, day one. Day two? Sky. Day three? Okay, by day three, we are on sea and land, and plants and trees. Day 4, sun, moon, stars. Day 5, creatures of the sea and creatures of the sky. Not until day 6 do we get land creatures, and at the end of the day, when he's done his practicing, we get humans. What happened on day 7? Yeah, you see, same as the 9:15. Everyone knows about the rest, don't they? Yeah. And in the beginning, God says, we created. So we're talking Father, Spirit, Son. Jesus is there right at the beginning. God the Father is there right at the beginning. And God the Spirit is there right at the beginning. When I was going through this, it struck me that God created light first. But he didn't create the sun until day 4. So the light doesn't come from the sun. The light is God's creation. I love that. I love that light is more than just what we see. You know, it's almost like a fourth dimension. It's beyond our physical explanation. It's beyond maths, and it's beyond our understanding of biology. And then Tony spoke to me after the first service and said, think of it as energy. God made energy. I thought, wow, yeah, energy. You know, can you imagine him gathering up energy and making the sun, moulding it and hot? But yeah, light, energy, it's something we all need to thrive. We can't be without it. So, hands up if you use Microsoft. So you're used to seeing things like this when you open your computer. Do you ever think, oh my, I've never seen anything like it? You get these incredible images, these amazing photographs of bits of the world that are not Liscard. Any idea where this is? Got louder. Come on, articulate. Norway, it's not Norway, it's not Alaska. Yes, it's the Canadian Rockies. And I kind of like to feel that this is when God's getting going. He's warming up creation. We're on big stuff here, you know. We're not on to fiddly fingertip dexterousness. We're on big, you know, wow, a mountain, whoa, a lake, big trees. This is vistas. This is open skies. This is mind-blowing. But we've also got feathers. You know, the specific, crafted design, the minutiae of creation, all those little hooks and barbs that line up and make a beautifully pressed feather. You can just imagine a bird's bill pulling itself along and realigning all of those hooks like mini Velcro. There's nothing accidental about that feather. Every single bit of that was thought, designed, and created. Back to the macro. Can you imagine how fun it must have been putting stars in place? But how tricky as well, you know? We look at it like a piece of wallpaper as if it's in 2 dimensions, but it's 3 dimensions. It goes backwards and forwards, you know, ding, 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 ding. And, bit of teamwork here, we make it so that humans can find their way around the world using the stars and the planets. It's awesome. Anyone know where this is? Guesses. It's not the Isles of Scilly. Scotland, yeah. It's the southern coast of the Isle of Mull. It's not a million miles away. I think that's my version of heaven. Not too hot. I melt above about 24 degrees C. Plenty of sea for swimming in. It's beautiful and clear, so I can avoid the jellyfish. White sand between my toes. And it almost looks as if the rock is bursting through that lush vegetation. I was really, really lucky and spent a week up in Scotland last week, or the week before last, and saw ragged robin in the wild, which I haven't seen for about 15 or 16 years down in England. Orchids, butterflies, fronds of seaweed just wafting in the tide, seals singing. It made my heart sing. I sat on this boat looking at it all, surrounded by it all, and all I could think of was that wonderful John Rutter song, For the Beauty of the Earth. It felt to me as if God was love-songing me back to him. Might not do it for you. Maybe this is more your thing. Right, take these and pass them round, but carry on concentrating, okay? Everybody needs, go on, quickly, take one and pass them round. Okay. Whoa. You'll have to grab and pass them round. You don't get flowers, no. You and Dom can share. You know, it always reminds me of Matthew 6, when Jesus says, look at the birds of the air. They don't reap or sow or store away in barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Do you not worry about clothes? See how the lilies of the fields grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that Solomon in all his glory was not dressed like one of these. We have an accidental sunflower in our garden. I don't know where it came from. It's just appeared, and it's beautiful and tall. And yesterday afternoon in the sunshine, it looks just like this, but it had 2 bees on it. And I love it. I love that God has created purposefully that amazing spiral of seeds and pollen and bursting forward. I loved learning in school about Fibonacci spirals and the way the nautilus shell follows the maths, and the same on the swirls of the sunflower, the most efficient way of fitting it all together. And how flirting was part of God's design. That flower going, come here, and the bumblebees going, yes, please. But it all works together. It's essential. I also think, come on, giraffes. That must have been one for the children. Do you not think? God's going, okay, we'll have Fibonacci. Okay, we'll have stars in the sky, but let me do something that the kids will just go, what? Giraffes, their eyelashes, those funny little horn things, and the get-up. I think it should be called the giraffe walk, not the cat walk. As we sang in that song, the universe declares your majesty. You are holy. And at the end of the 6th day, we get humanity. Each of us with our own unique fingerprint, each of us with our own unique pattern of iris colour in our eye. I'm me. I'm unique. In our family, our little nuclear family, there are 6 of us. Each of us is unique. In Liscard, there are approximately 9,552 of us. Each of us unique. In Cornwall, approximately 573,329 unique children of God. In the UK, 68 million-ish. In Europe, 747.8 million. In the world, at the moment, about 7.9 billion humans, each unique, each perfect, created. So the second half of the reading we had talked not only about the fact that God had created the earth, but that he gave us responsibility. He's given us stewardship. Have a quick look at some of the words that are on that. I've forgotten what they're called. Slide. No. Word art thing. Stewardship. Influence. Confidence. Vision. Leadership. Teamwork. Inspiration. We have his world in our hands. Are they beautiful images? Are we succeeding in our stewardship? This was a beautiful beach. Beautiful. But it's marred, mostly by plastic. I look at that and I think it's as if the ocean is trying to vomit up what's hurting it, what's causing a problem. It needs to get rid of it. That beautiful sky filled with chemicals, particulates, fog, smoke, nasties that dissolve in rain to cause acid rain, particulates that were enough to kill children when they breathe them in over a long period of time, smog that stops us from being able to see the sun or the stars. Those two pictures are from faraway places, but this is a Cornish lane. Whether it's stuff that's been blown out of somebody's recycling bag when they put it out the night before, or somebody's been just chucking out bits from their car window as they've finished their KFC. I don't know. But it's real and it's there. In some ways, that's a micro problem. Think about the macro problems. This graph shows, you don't need to be able to read all the scale and everything. It's an indication of the changes in seawater temperature. In the middle at 0 is an average which is 1981 to 1990. And you can see that between 1950 and 2000, it's just going up. As the sea temperature goes up, its ability to absorb carbon dioxide diminishes. It changes what can live in the ocean. And it changes how that massive balancing sink struggles to keep up with what we're doing. Food waste. Now, I'm sorry if you came here expecting to have a 5-year history of cafe abundance and my burning passions about food waste, but as most of you have heard that before, or can hear it any time, I thought that I'd go a little bit wider because food waste might not be your bag, it might not be the thing that floats your boat. Food waste annually in the whole world is about 1.6 billion tons. About a third of all the food that's produced in the world is wasted. And yet, 815 million people, that's about 11% of the world population, suffer from chronic undernourishment. Doesn't make sense, does it? In the UK, the financial value of what we waste in food per year is approximately £10.2 billion. Since Rishi decided to slash the foreign aid budget, this year, 2021, the Overseas Development Assistance Fund will be about 10.9 billion. Now, give or take 0.7 of a billion, we're wasting as much in food as we think global development is worth. And already in 2016, 5 years ago, 5 of the Solomon Islands had sunk. In fact, they hadn't sunk, had they? We've melted enough seawater for the levels to rise so much that 5 Solomon Islands have been flooded out of existence. They've drowned, swallowed. But it's not all bad news. There are ways of making a difference, and it is our responsibility. This is God's planet. This is his love song to us. Every one of those 78 billion people is our brother or sister. So what can we do? We can make a choice, and we can be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Choose what you're passionate about and follow it. Fall in love with the things that your Creator is in love with and behave in a way that honours that. You know, when you fall in love and you meet somebody and you discover they're into cycling, suddenly you realise that you're going to start cycling. Oh, yes. You know, you might not want to wear the lycra yet, but you're going to get a water bottle for your bike and the new helmet, and we're going to go cycling. Because you want to do what the person you love does. God made this planet for us. He loves it. He's showing us his amazing creativity. But is it not a love song to you? Do you not sit surrounded by nature, or find a snail shell on the beach, or pick a flower, and somehow feel in you blessing, joy, happiness, love? I don't know anybody who can fail to be touched by something of nature. It might not be a love song, it might be a love yell. So the things we love, we will protect, be they animal, vegetable, mineral, or human. So my challenge to you is to choose 2 to do. You know, we're always told loads of different things, okay? And I'm going to do a really bad thing, and I'm going to talk at the same time as you've got a slide up there that you want to read. So just have a quick read and then I'll talk. Okay, so let's start at the top. Iron less. Ladies and gentlemen, ironing is not good. A, it uses electricity, and B, it creates heat. Okay, we don't need any more global warming. Put your iron away. Body heat alone will manage to get rid of most of the wrinkles. A little bit of judicious folding is not a bad thing, okay? And if you're going for an interview, you only need to iron the front bit of your shirt because the rest of it will be covered by a jacket. Okay? Please put away the iron. I know not everybody's lucky enough to have as much drying space as we have in our house, but we have managed with a family of 4 boys and no tumble dryer all of the time. It's possible. Nail varnish. Okay, it's plastic. When it flakes off, it's microplastics. Okay? Glittery nail varnish is the worst. Glitter is seriously microplastics. What happens to it when we sweep it off? It becomes tiddly little bits. Why do we like glitter? We like glitter because it shines and sparkles, gives us the light. Hello, people. What are we meant to do? We're meant to shine and sparkle and reflect the light. You don't need glitter. You don't need nail varnish. You're perfect. You're beautiful. You were made perfect and beautiful. Ditch it. I know it smells nice, but... Learn a new vegetarian recipe, okay? We need to eat less meat, full stop. We really do, okay? Veggie recipes can be good. Yeah. Sorry? I'm still interactive. Sorry. Swap it for a meat meal each week, okay? Interactive could be, what is your favourite vegetarian recipe? Chips. Okay. Sorry? Excuse me, gentlemen. Sirloin steak is not a vegetarian meal. Okay, think local. What do we grow really well in Cornwall? Cauliflowers and new potatoes. Find different ways of doing cauliflowers and new potatoes. Okay, cauliflowers are fantastic, believe me. I can give you a lot of cauliflower recipes because at Cafe Abundance we get quite a lot of cauliflowers. So we have to be quite creative. Okay, my top tip would be roasting for all vegetables. Okay, a little bit of oil, a little bit of salt, break it up, whack it in the oven, roast it. Oh, brings out the sugars and the caramelly bits and... Okay, be inquisitive. Learn all you can about something and protective. Look up that butterfly when you get home. Find out what it is. What plants does it feed on? What's its life cycle? Love it. Shorten your shower, okay? Set a timer on your phone. See if you can shorten it by 10 seconds a week or a day. Have a competition between the two of you as a couple who can have the shortest shower. Do you actually need to have a bath every day? You know? One of my favourite things about going sailing is that you can't wash. You know, it doesn't matter if you're kind of a little bit in your own smell for a day. If you have a bath in the same place as your loo, have a bucket there as well. Before you let the bath water out, fill the bucket up with water and use that to do the next flush of your loo. I'm not asking you to fill up 17 buckets with all the bath water, but just one bucket full. Even that helps. And remember, if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. Okay? This is our drinking water we're using in this country to flush our wee and poo away. It's nuts. Could you make that journey on foot or by bike by leaving 5 minutes earlier? If you did, you'd be more likely to see a beautiful grass or maybe a caterpillar. The co-op has reopened in Liskeard. Most of you probably had a leaflet through your letterbox about how fantastic the new co-op is. And in that, it tells you that they're able to recycle all flexible plastic now. Okay, I don't know if anybody's been in there and seen the size of the bin they have for collecting all your flexible plastic. It's smaller than a dustbin. It's probably the size of the little bin that we've got at the back there. Now, you and I all know that we can recycle our hard plastic with our curbside recycling. Some of you may know that for a while now you've been able to recycle plastic bags, stretchy plastic, at Morrison's in the bin that's beside the door. But now the co-op will take all flexible plastic. That's the bit you peel off the top of your punnet of strawberries. That's your ground coffee bag. That's your crisp packet. That's your bread bag. Any flexible plastic can be recycled. Okay? So in a week, we usually collect maybe one bread bag full of flexible plastic. There's hardly anything goes in the bin now. If everybody in this church building today filled up their bread bag with all the flexible plastic that you get through in a week, unavoidably, we could show the co-op that they need more than one little Slim Jim bin. Okay? We need to take responsibility. Grow something. Even coriander or cress, or sprout chickpeas or something. It's a magic. It's amazing. See it happening. Be part of creation. I spoke about this earlier, watching the Perseids meteor shower. You know when you see a shooting star, it's magic, isn't it? So between now and the end of August, the Perseids meteor shower is going on. It's happening. Highlight dates, the 12th and 13th of August. Get out somewhere dark, get on your back and watch. It's amazing. And earlier Annie told me that there is something called the Carradon Observatory. I had no idea, just on the edge of Bodmin Moor by Rilla Mill. So we need to get there, get a group of us together and go up and see. They've got this mega telescope. And they take photographs of the sky and the planets and the stars. It's worship. Wake up really early on the 22nd of August and see the full moon. Don't know what it is, there's something about full moons, the dark sky and how it gives over to dawn. Love it. Okay, who hasn't got a compost bin at home? Come on, hands up. This is interactive, remember? If you haven't got a compost bin, okay, fine. So now who has got a compost bin at home? Okay, those of you who haven't got a compost bin, keep your hands up. Those of you who have. Right, look around. I can't see heads looking around. If you haven't got a compost bin, okay, find somebody who has and become a compost buddy with them. Okay? Bring your week's worth of potato scrapings and food waste in a little composty bag or an ice cream tub, okay, to church next Sunday and hand it over to somebody who's got a compost bin. It matters. It's not waste. It's a resource. It's organic matter. It's full of nutrients, microbes, all the things we need for soil fertility and to grow things. It's not rocket science. No, they won't take kitchen vegetable waste in the garden waste bin. The whole lot, yeah, absolutely. It's to do with how hot they compost it, I think. But food waste recycling is coming to Cornwall, slowest, lastest of all counties, in February 2022. So you will have food waste recycling then. But before then, find someone else to compost with, okay? Really, it's that simple. It's really important. Imagine your bin bags were see-through, okay? Imagine all your black sacks were made of clear plastic. And imagine that you actually had to hand it over to the bin person. Would that change what you put in your bin or how you felt about it? Maybe. And think backwards about the implications of your actions. When you go to buy a new t-shirt that's only $2.99, why is it only $2.99? Where's it come from? What's it made of? Did you need to have it new? Charitalia is a fabulous brand, okay? It's a bit like Carboutier. Recycle, reuse. You're beautiful anyway. You don't need it shiny and new. Can you reuse it? Can you repair it? Can you pass something that you no longer need on to somebody else who does need it? Fall in love and get angry. The planet is God's love song to you, and it is ours to steward responsibly. I'm not asking you to walk to Downing Street and to knock on Bojo's door and say, "Oi, we've got to do something about this." It's not everybody else's responsibility, it's ours. I've recently been reading a book which Steve is slightly dubious about. It's called the Humanure Handbook. It's fascinating and very interesting. It says, "I don't understand humans. We line up and make a lot of noise about big environmental problems like incinerators, waste dumps, acid rain, global warming and pollution. But we don't understand that when we add up all the tiny environmental problems each of us creates, we end up with those big environmental dilemmas. Humans are content to blame someone else, like government or corporations, for the messes we create. And yet we continue doing the same things day in and day out that have created the problems. Sure, corporations create pollution. If they do, don't buy their products. If you have to buy their products, diesel and petrol, for example, keep it to a minimum. Sure, municipal waste incinerators pollute the air. Stop throwing trash away. Minimize your production of waste. Recycle. Buy food in bulk. Avoid packaging. Simplify. Turn off your TV. Grow your own food. Make compost. Plant a garden. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. If you don't, who will?" Thank you.